Previously on Unscripted.
I've snuck into other events before, so, you know.
Yeah, but from a back door of a venue?
No, usually I sneak in by the front door, but, you know.
You're listening to Unscripted with Skip Sherman and Josh Obadia.
Okay, Skip, so today we're going to talk about the Apple TV series called Your Friends and Neighbors. But before we get to that, I wanted to tell you what happened to me this morning. It didn't really happen to me. I was on the radio. You know how I like to enter these radio contests to try to win stuff.
You love it. You love it so much. It's crazy.
But when you have to call in and like be the 88th caller or something, it's impossible. However, a lot of radio stations now, you just have to text in and like they might pick you and call you.
Right.
So there's a station giving away tickets to Osheaga, not like just one day, the whole weekend. Plus you get accommodations in Montreal, plus you get a flight to and from Montreal. So the whole weekend is included.
That's great. I hope you win.
Me too. So the thing is, you have to text in your name and the word Osheaga, and then they might call you. And lo and behold, I texted in this morning and they called me. And I was like literally just getting out of bed. My eyes weren't even completely open. I couldn't even talk. And my phone rings and I'm like, who's calling me?
Right. Crazy.
So anyway, they called me. They're like, you know, we've picked you. Do you want to play? I'm like, sure. And if you win, you don't necessarily win. Like I'm entered in the draw. So There's only one winner per week. And this is the last week they're doing it.
What did you have to do?
Well, that's the thing. This is why I wanted to play, because the contest is you have to be able to speak French.
Oh, come on. I mean,
they don't know that I'm from Montreal, right?
I mean, but there's certainly many Torontonians who can speak French.
I would imagine, because, you know, other people have entered this and won before me.
Yeah.
So basically they ask you 3 questions, and either they ask you in French and you have to answer in English, or they ask you in English and you have to answer in French. So either way you have to understand. So the 3 questions they asked me. And by the way, the DJ, he's an ex-Montrealer.
Okay.
So he says, he always sets the scene. So you're in Montreal, you're walking down St. Catherine Street, and you see a sign, and it says, danseuse nue. If you go in there, what are you going to see?
That's great. That's a great question.
Yeah. So I got that one right, obviously. Mm-hmm. Then he's like, okay.
For the listeners who don't speak French, that means danseuse nue, literal translation is naked dancers.
Right, yes. The next one, he says, okay, so now you leave that place and you're walking down the street and you're in a restaurant and someone orders un chien chaud et patates frites. What are they going to get when their order comes to their table?
Okay, fair enough. Although I believe, is chien chaud even like a real word? Like I still think French speaking people say hot dog. No?
You're right, obviously.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's hot dog and French fries.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last one was, he said it in English and I had to answer in French. He's like, okay, so now you're at Mount Royal and you're lost and you need to ask someone for directions. You need to ask someone, what are the directions to get to downtown?
Okay.
So
That's not so hard.
That wasn't exactly the question. I said, c'est quoi les directions pour aller au centre-ville? Anyway, they were very impressed that I even said it with the right pronunciation and everything.
Beautiful. You're fully bilingual. I love it.
So I'm entered in the draw, and I'll find out on Monday if I'm going to Osheaga.
After all these years, like what, 20 years living in Toronto-ish?
Finally, my French language pays off.
Finally, right? So would you go to Osheaga? Like,
I mean, if I won free passes, sure, why not?
I'm not really sure who's playing. I know Gracie Abrams is there, and I think Olivia Rodrigo is one of the headliners.
The Beaches are playing this year, and I think the Killers are playing this year, and I think Cage the Elephant is playing this year, so there's some good bands.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, Skip, do we have any listener mail?
Mailbag.
Yeah, listener mail. Last time we did our songs of the summer. Cheryl from Montreal, great episode. Love the music clips. I will be adding some of the songs to my playlist. Thank you, Cheryl. Selena, my daughter, I mean, you saw her in person and she even told you. She was shocked by your selection of Role Model as the number one song of the summer. Like, when I told her that, she was like, what are you talking about? How could that be? Like, she couldn't believe it. And she did confirm to me that she does believe that Sabrina Carpenter's song Man-Child will actually be the real song of the summer in the mainstream.
You don't like that one, though.
I don't like that one. I don't like her. Anyways. Mark from Philadelphia, he took my recommendation and he listened to Leve, who was my, number one song of the summer for me. He said he had never heard of her and he wasn't blown away. This is what he told me. Lenny, my uncle, who finally got out of the hospital, he's doing much better. Said, keep up the great work with the podcast, but he hadn't heard of any of our songs, not mine or yours.
I'm not surprised, but Lenny, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery.
I think his musical knowledge ended, sometime in the late 70s. That's his sweet spot.
When you mentioned Dolly Parton a year ago on an episode, I'm sure he's heard of her.
Of course, yeah. And then I had something that I wanted to add into the mailbag. It's really like newsworthy topic because it's goes with our song of the summer. So you had number one Role Model as your number one song, and I had number one Leve. 2 days ago, these two artists, Role Model and Leve, released a song together.
Maybe they're listening to our show.
And so the song is called The Longest Goodbye. You can go look it up. And it's a collaboration between these two artists. It's absolutely the weirdest kind of the universe speaking to us in some kind of weird way, I think.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't wait.
It's mostly him singing. She just sings kind of one verse and then joins in the chorus. But it's not really a good song, to be honest. But it's like a funny song,
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. Okay, we'll be right back after this to talk about the Apple TV series, Your Friends and Neighbors.
You're listening to Unscripted.
I'm Joseph DeMedictis.
And I'm Ross Citrullo.
And we're doing this podcast so we don't have to go home and get a real job.
Exactly.
That's right. And we're doing it to tell you about our pursuit of the dreams we've had since being a kid, being young, trying to get into the entertainment industry. Us, we're mid-career, sort of. We're kind of halfway broken in a way, but we both have these big dreams and big goals.
Aspirations, really.
For our careers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. This podcast is about the journey through the industry, trying to make it, but trying not to have to give up.
So listen to our podcast on all the places you might listen to a podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We have our own YouTube channel where you can watch the video version. All the links can be found at you'llnevermakeit.ca. Here's hoping we do.
And now, back to Unscripted.
Okay, Skip, we're back.
All right. So Your Friends and Neighbors, you told me you love the show.
I did love this show, and I'm sort of getting the sense after you watched it that you didn't love it, but that's okay. This already is in the running for my favorite show of the year. It's the leader in the clubhouse, as they say.
Don't get me wrong. I liked the show. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But I think 2025 for me is kind of stacked with some very, very strong shows. And this one doesn't hold up to that high, that elite level. But it's still, don't get me wrong, very, very entertaining show. So just to remind everyone, this is an Apple TV show. And yes, season 2 is confirmed already. So that's cool. We could look forward to that. And everything you're about to hear is spoilers, tons of spoilers, because it is a murder mystery at its core, right? I mean, first scene of the show, we see a dead guy. We don't even know who he is. And in the end, we figure out, who the killer is.
A lot of shows are doing that now. Only Murders in the Building, somebody dies. What's that other one? The White Lotus, somebody dies. Every show, somebody dies.
Yeah, they die, and then you flash back 3 months earlier or 6 months earlier or whatever. But the murder is really just the murder in this show is really just like a kind of, it's almost a side plot. I mean, yes, it's important because he's in jail and he's accused of murder and everything. John Hamm's character, but I mean, the crux of the show really is he loses his job. He's running out of money. What does he do? He doesn't try to get a new job right away. Well, he kind of tries, but he's like, let's just steal valuable stuff from my neighbors. Let's just break into their homes and steal their stuff.
Because
right?
his neighbors, he lives in a very affluent neighborhood, and all his neighbors are rich, and all his neighbors have way too much stuff. Like they have multiple watches that are $350,000 each.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you need more than one watch, but whatever. And then there's one neighbor that has that fancy purse, bag, leather, whatever. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
The
Birkin
bag, yes, which apparently in order to be considered to purchase it, you have to put your name on a waiting list first.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
ridiculous.
kind of ridiculous. Not kind of, it's completely ridiculous.
I mean, they really make fun in a sense of the lifestyle of these people because it's, imagine like how rich do you have to be that like someone breaks into your house and steals your stuff and you don't even know. Like you don't even know. You spent $50,000 on a watch and it's gone and you don't even know it's gone. Like it's kind of
like
crazy.
when Shohei Ohtani's interpreter stole money from his account, and Ohtani apparently didn't notice it right away.
That's a great analogy. I don't know if you're making fun of Ohtani or not, or maybe
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so true, actually. I mean, look, aspirations. We can aspire to be that rich one day, I guess. The only notes I took is like I have 4 of my favorite moments, which I'll get into maybe at the end or in the course of our discussion. And then I just wrote a little bit about all the main characters. But you can start if you want.
And this is so meaningless to the show, but I was very impressed with the tennis scenes and the golf scenes because whoever's playing tennis and golf actually looks like they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
and when
true,
I looked it
actually.
up, apparently John Hamm, it's actually him playing tennis, apparently.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Like, I don't play tennis as good as he does, and I don't act as good as he does, so he's got a better life than I do.
Right,
and
okay.
I don't do any skip commercials either.
So, you told me like 2 episodes ago when you teased that you watched this show that you think that John Hamm isn't really acting, that he really is like this. Like and I watched the show with that in mind the entire time. And I mean, obviously I think there's a bit of truth in that. Like but I mean, he is acting, and I don't think he's as, I think the humor I think his character, like all the things that he does and everything, like that's acting. He's not a thief. He's not, like the way with his family, like all that stuff, like that's acting. That's not part of his character. But I do believe that the humor parts, the sarcasm and the wit and the comebacks that he has, I do believe that is how he is. Or like, I really feel like that. Yeah.
I agree. And I mean, I obviously wasn't there when they were shooting the episodes, but sometimes actors ad lib, they don't exactly follow the script that they're given. I'm assuming that might have happened a few times while they were shooting this show. So
yeah. I mean, John Hamm really is like, obviously he's the main character. He's the central focus of the show. He does a great job. I think he's really, really good. There's some stuff about him and his family and a divorce that like really just bothered me. Like I wanted to like shake them all. I mean, that the whole point is that like they're all bad people. Like,
right, we should mention for people who haven't watched the show. So Andrew Cooper doesn't only lose his job; he's also divorced. So now he's got to support his family, and then he had to move into a new house himself. So he's got to support himself. Anyway, sorry I interrupted you, but there was something.
No, that's okay.
You were saying how the whole divorce thing and it bothers you. What I found funny, and maybe funny's the wrong word. The guy who is now with his ex-wife, Nick Brandis, the former NBA player.
Yeah.
that guy thinks he's buddies with Andrew Cooper. He still thinks he's buddies with him. Like, he invites him over to his house for a barbecue. And every time he invites him, Cooper's like, no, like, that's a hard pass. I'm not coming. Leave me alone.
Yeah. No, it's true. And there's a lot of other situations like that too. Like, he still comes to the country club, and then he still talks to his ex, Amanda Peet. And he's trying to, John Hamm's character, Coop, he's trying to keep the peace as much as he can, right? So, like, they get mad at him at the end, and they express themselves, like his family, his kids especially, and even his ex. Why didn't you fight for us? I mean, she cheated on him, let's be clear, right?
Yes.
And then they all turn around to him and say, why didn't you fight for us? But actually, I look at it in a different way. He's actually the only one that made any sacrifice. He did everything so that his ex, which he owes nothing to, and his 2 kids, which he obviously loves dearly, have the same, their life wasn't disrupted. Like, they're living in the same house. They all have the same cars. They have the same lifestyle. They're all doing exactly the same thing. He's the only one that actually made any sacrifice by moving out and living in a smaller home and disrupting his life, right? So, like, I don't think that they ever really, they didn't really, like, thank him for that. They just took it for granted, Like, at one point, Amanda Peet, his ex, she's like, the daughter's going to need tennis lessons, and it's going to cost $10,000 a month, and he was like, she just automatically assumes, okay, he's going to pay, right? Like he's just going to keep paying for everything, right? So, that situation kind of bothered me. But
what bothered me, going back to his wife, she's a bitch. Like, one day he wants to hang out with his son, and it's not a Tuesday, and he only gets Tuesdays apparently. So he comes by the house, and right away she's like, what are you doing here? Like, no hello, no nothing. And then, he explains why he was there. And she's like, it's not a Tuesday. Come back on a Tuesday. Oh, and by the way, we need to fix this, and it's going to cost thousands of dollars. Yeah. That's how she talks to him.
She's the worst. Like, honestly, of all the characters, well, I was just about to tell you, like, let's be clear. Like, all these characters are bad people. Every single person in the show. They have some good qualities, and that obviously they show that Coop really loves his family, and so does Mel in her way, and but like these are the worst people in the world. They only care about themselves, and they only care about money. Like, this is, and their lifestyle, right? Like, this is it. Like, that's all. Every character is like that. John Hamm, he loses his job, right? He has no more money. His financial advisor tells him, you can last 6 months with the way you're going, right? And you're going to run out of money. He has a $200,000 Maserati that he keeps driving around, right? He'll never sell the car because people will wonder, oh my God, he's only driving a Mercedes now. He's not rich, and he's having financial troubles. He can't sell his car because it'll tell people that he's like that his status is less now. Same thing, he talks about it with the country club. Everybody joins the country club. You have to join, because if you don't join, it's like, it's like you don't even have a choice, You must be there,
There was another scene, actually, in one of the earlier episodes. They're at a barbecue at someone's house, and the owner of the house organizes this fundraiser every year and expects John Hamm to buy 2 tables, and each table's like $10,000.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even, it's more like, so you're going to buy 2 tables again, right? He's not asking him, he's basically telling him.
No, they're telling. Yeah. Yeah. So I really like John Hamm's character. I thought he was really, like, obviously he's like the focal point of the show, right? I like how he learned about the neighbors' secrets, like when he robbed their homes, because obviously that came into play later, right? One of them's having an affair with a high school student.
Yeah, her daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, and so he does use that against her after. And then the other one, he discovers that she's like...
got a copy of the SATs.
Yeah, exactly. So she's cheating, helping her daughter cheat on the SATs to get into Princeton. When that comes into play like later on, which is very, I thought that was really cool. And then, since we're talking about all that kind of stuff, like the housekeeper, I forget what her name is.
Elena.
The character. Elena. She's really good, and you think that like, okay, Elena, they show her like she wakes up in her small little apartment, she takes like 3 buses to get out to their house, and it's like they're trying to show you that she has this very difficult life, which she does, and she cleans up after them and she takes all their shit, and it's like a thankless job, whatever. But she's also terrible, right? Like she's also terrible because as soon as she sees dollar signs in her head, she's like, I'm your partner now, and then she knows she actually helps him steal stuff because she knows what to steal. She knows where all the best stuff is that they're not going to notice, right?
Because there's
Steal
a
this
housekeeper
Birkin bag.
like group.
Yeah, there's the housekeeper group chat, right? Where
Yeah.
they make fun of all the owners.
That's the group
right?
chat you want to be on, by the way.
But like she knows, like, steal this Birkin bag because she's never taken it out in 5 years. She doesn't even know it's there, right? Or this watch and this, so, but then, when push comes to shove, Elena like doesn't like support Coop at all, right? Like he's arrested and she's just scared for herself, and like she like she's not really a great partner, but I mean I guess they're criminals, so I mean you don't expect them to really help each other out. But
There's one character who I think is, you say they're all bad people. There's one who I think is actually, you might consider a good person.
who, Barney?
No. Well, Barney,
No?
yes. But no, I was going to say, and I don't know her name, the girl that he sleeps with that used to be his coworker. She actually tries to defend him.
Yeah. First of all, she sleeps with him at the beginning, and it's actually her that's coming onto him 100%. We know that, and she admits it, and he
And she never filed a complaint, so it's not like she was backstabbing him or anything at all. And then when she finds out what's going on, she tries to get him his job back.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think maybe she's the one of them that's good. And the other one who's good, who's obviously not really affected by all the wealth and power, is Allie, played by Lena Hall. That's Coop's sister.
Yes, that's right.
She's going through like she has like some kind of psychological stuff that she's going through, either anxiety, bipolar, one of these conditions. And
Although she does sleep with her ex knowing that he's married, so,
Yeah, that's right. She'll do anything to get him back, right? Her ex, right? She'll do anything to get him back. But I mean, she's there to show us that Coop has this compassionate and kind side, that he's never abandoned his sister, and he's willing to take care of her, and she comes to live in his house. But like,
by the way, Coop's mother is not a nice person either.
Oh God, terrible, terrible.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with that woman.
Oh God, so bad. But like, I like the character Allie, but like, her story really had nothing to do with the main plot. It was a side story, like, and she's fine, and she was nice to watch, and she was fine. It was a good story, but it really didn't have anything to do with all the thefts and all the main stuff with Coop and his ex. But so Amanda Pete Mel, she's the worst. I hated her. I know.
Oh,
God.
You probably hate her as much as you hate the wife in that show with Jason Bateman. What's that show called?
Ozark?
Yeah, you remember you hated the wife in that show.
Oh, well, she's a conniving, like, schemer who wants to take over, and she really becomes the villain. But like Amanda Pete's character, she's just like mean, Like, they go to that little bakery in Princeton when they're in the college town, and she steals something, and the guy comes out and accuses her of stealing like a bottle of something or whatever. And she's like, no. And then John Hamm sticks up for her. And then 5 minutes later, she's like, yeah, I stole it.
Like yeah, exactly. Lady? People like that don't need to be stealing stuff. They could afford the bottle or whatever it is that she took.
And then they show that she keys someone's car when she's walking in the parking lot.
She probably has issues too that we don't even know about.
I mean, obviously she's just angry, like it's, I don't know. I didn't really love her character. But then on the opposite side, we have Sam, played by Olivia Munn, who like loved her, even though she is actually the villain, right? Like in the end.
Well, you don't know till the end that she's the one who's framed him. But up until that point, she seems like a very nice person. And she's in a similar situation to Coop because they're both divorced or separated or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they sort of, have something in common and they sort of latch onto each other.
But in the end, I mean, she loves her lifestyle so much that she's just willing to do anything to keep it, right? She doesn't want to go back to being poor or whatever she was before, you know. She really is good. She's really good. Like, honestly, she was great. The one plot hole, if you want to talk about like things that like really angered me about the story. So first of all, you're right. They did a great job of. I didn't realize that she was the one responsible until the very end. Like I didn't really see it coming.
Yeah, they did it. They did do a very good job of withholding all the information until the end and then revealing it. I like how they did that. I also love, by the way, that there's a narrator in the show. I love that.
So he goes upstairs. He goes into the safe. He finds it, and he finds the suicide note that she kept. Why did she keep the note? Why didn't she just burn it, destroy it? Like, if she would have just destroyed that suicide note, she might have got away with the whole thing.
That's true. I didn't think of that. I don't know why.
Like, why did she
Because
keep
I think
it?
because
Like,
in the note, he says to her that he really loves her and he made a mistake.
Okay.
And so it's like her way, it's like vindication for her, I think.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. I get that. Did you like Sam?
I love Sam.
She was great.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, she's great. You know,
and she's
I
not
told you
like
have.
she, even though yes, she's a bad person, she's not like the others because she didn't grow up rich, you know, like all the others did. And you find this out in the last episode when she becomes the narrator and explains how she got to where she is now.
Right. They explained that she was like a waitress or a hostess in one of Paul's restaurants, and that's how he met her, and then eventually got married. So like she came from, you know. And you see like where her parents live in Boston at one point, you know, like this is like, you know, she's like a regular person, right? She's not one of these rich society people, although she loves being one of the rich society people. You know, I told you I had like 4 key moments that I really loved in the show. One of them is when Sam goes into the pharmacy to buy like skin creams and whatever toiletries she needs. And the girl who works at the pharmacy is trying to serve her and help her, and Sam just like goes off on her, but like not raising her voice or just like basically like destroys her. You know, it's so bad, it's so mean in a way. But
one scene, switching gears here completely, one scene that I actually had to look away. Nick Brandis, the former NBA player, he has a basketball court inside his house. Just to tell you how big these houses are. And he challenges everyone to one-on-one basketball. And there's this one guy who you don't even know. He's only in that one scene. I guess he used to play college ball or something. He destroys his ankle. I mean, the fact that they actually showed it, I was stunned.
That was bad. Yeah. What do you think of Barney, the
I love Barney.
financial advisor?
Barney's great. You know, if I was in this show, I would be Barney.
I felt bad for him because like he's trapped. He's just trapped. Barney
he's
is just like a nice
anyways.
guy.
First of all, he wants to know what's going on with Coop. Coop won't tell him anything, but he knows that there's something going on. And his in-laws are the worst.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Coop gave him a bag of cash to pay him, so he knows something's up, right? Like, I don't think he ever got paid with a brown paper bag full of cash.
That's
and then
true.
His in-laws are terrible. I mean, she gave him a check for $1 million, and he didn't want to accept it.
He burned it. He burned it and almost burned down his whole house in the process.
Yeah, I do feel bad for Barney. The night when they go out to that nightclub, all of them in New York, and Barney is just hammered and stoned, and like he's done. But the one of the funniest scenes is in the nightclub when they meet Coop's former like underlings, like the 2 guys that worked kind of for him when he had his job, right? And then they're so happy to meet Nick Brandis because the guy can't wait to tell him that he bought his $2,000 toilet. Is it 2,000 or 20,000?
I thought it was 3,000 or 30,000. I don't even. Anyway.
Anyways, that he bought the fancy toilet that Nick is like invested in that company, right? The robotic toilet that has internet and Wi-Fi and does everything. And
by the way, those underlings, they think Coop is a god. They love him.
Well, they love him because well, I mean, you kind of find out at the end that he is because when all the crap hits the fan with his former company, he finds out that they're in trouble after they fired him because the Swiss are not happy, right? And they need him to come back to get the Swiss back in the fold. I don't know what the hell they do. I don't understand their business or what they do, but I just know the Swiss aren't happy, and Coop can fix the Swiss problem. and he knows that he has them over a barrel. And Corbin Burnson is like his former boss, but he calls in the other boss who we've never met. So as soon as he gets to the office, he knows like, okay, I've got them, because if both of those guys are there together, then it's really serious, right? And he basically just like extorts them. He's like, give me everything. And then after they're willing to give him everything, he just walks away. He's like, screw you, I'm not helping you. Right?
So I did not see that coming. That last scene, you think he's driving to the airport to get on that private jet. And instead he's like, wait a minute. I know my boss is at the airport. I'm going to go rob his house.
Yeah, it's exactly it. And the crazy thing is, so I don't know what's going to happen in season 2. Like people are going to know that he lost his job. Like people know that now, right? I think like Mel, his ex, knows, right? At one point she didn't know, right? Like, so
I think everyone knows now.
Yeah. The cat's out of the bag. So like they're going to start wondering how he's making money, or maybe not. Maybe they just assume he has tons of money in the bank. I don't know. But
it is interesting that he would choose that life over his old life. And I think he says, first of all, he's finding out all kinds of interesting information, like people cheating on tests and people cheating on their husbands. And he doesn't want to be in the rat race anymore.
It's not just the rat race. Like I also wrote down, like in its core, it's also a show about like boredom. Like he's so bored with his rich life, going to the country club every day and playing tennis and doing all these mundane things, and just like how shallow all the rich people are. Like he just hates it, but like stealing from them is fun. I think he gets like a thrill from it. It's like he's some kind of like adrenaline junkie that like he loves the idea of like stealing from these people, So
and he didn't even know that he would love it because he never did it before. It's like some people get a rush out of gambling. Some people get a rush out of driving fast cars. This is his vice, I guess.
It's his drug, right? Stealing the stuff.
Yeah.
Stealing their stuff and getting away with it. And then he has his what's her name? The one that he sells the stuff to? Lou. She's really good, Lou.
Jewish woman is in the Bronx?
In the Bronx, yeah. The Bronx or Queens. Anyways,
one of the
I'm
two.
Not sure. But she's so casual about everything, Lou. Like, the first time he goes into the pawn shop and he sits down with her, and then she just tells her grandkids, go play upstairs. Like, I'm about to buy some stolen merchandise. Go play upstairs. like it's so like crazy. And when she comes to his house,
she just shows up at his house. That was hilarious.
She did warn him though that not to get involved in art.
Well, didn't he just steal a painting from his boss? Wasn't that the last scene of the last episode?
Well, yeah, I guess, but maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy because that whole art theft thing really went bad for them. Like the first time around,
he got beaten up on the street.
Yeah, and not only that, like the art that he stole, he lost it, and the other guy just ended up with it. The guy who the intermediary guy, he screwed him.
It still amazes me that he has not been caught.
Yeah. Well, he was so close once, right? Then he was running and
with the dog.
They were close. Yeah. So I just want to tell you the other two scenes that I thought were like the best scenes. So I told you about like Sam's interaction in the drugstore. That's like super good. The super expensive toilet and the guys that are so excited to tell Nick that they bought his toilet. I know this sounds bad, but when Coop punches his daughter's boyfriend in the you-know-what.
I love that. I love it. Not only, let me just interject for a minute. Never mind that he punched the boyfriend. The way he talks to the boyfriend, he's so dismissive of the guy. And he knows that that kid is going to be gone in a few weeks, if not sooner. He's like, don't talk to me. Leave me alone. You're still here? Why are you talking to me?
And he's right, because as soon as his daughter gets a taste of Princeton and sees the rest, and eventually his true colors come out, and she's like, I'm done with this guy, right? And then the other scene that I wrote down that was one of my favorites is right at the very end, when he goes up to I don't know her name, the neighbor that's, the daughter is his daughter's main competitor in tennis, and they're both trying to get on the Princeton tennis team, but he knows that she's cheated to help her daughter get into college with stolen SATs, and he basically just comes up to her at the end and he's like, go and apply at any other school, but your daughter is not going to Princeton, Like go anywhere else, but she's not going there, or you're in big trouble, right? And like just like the way he threatens her is so great. It's really really like sneaky and good, and like just the way he talks to people, it's so well done, you know?
Similar to how he threatens the lawyer. He wants a specific lawyer to represent him, and he knows that she's sleeping with her daughter's boyfriend and threatens her that if you don't represent me, I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's most of my notes. I mean, I can keep going on. Like, I really did enjoy the show, as you can tell. I just don't think it's like the best thing, you know? The other thing that bothered me is the police. I think the police completely bungled their whole investigation. I just didn't get it. I was like, are these police, do they know what they're doing? Like, what's going on? He shows him, he's like, Sam has another phone, he tells them. Right? Because he goes, we dumped Sam's phone. There's no record of her calling you. He goes, yeah, because she has another phone. Look, she sent me nudes.
I don't think he
shows
knew
them
that
the
she had a second phone until he saw the phone records, and he's like, why isn't my number here?
Exactly. And then when he shows the police that he has another number of Sam, and even shows them the nude picture that she sent to him, they're like, how do we know that's Sam's phone? Well, it's your job to freaking find out. The guy's on trial for murder. Dump that phone and see what the hell's going on. Like, I just felt like the Sam's phone and the other phone, it was like, I wasn't happy about the way the police did that. You know, like,
I did like, we haven't mentioned his kids, really. I mean, we mentioned that Tori is trying to get into Princeton, but his son is a drummer.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, he's actually pretty cool, and he doesn't talk very much. But there's one episode where he actually goes to visit his dad, you know, surprisingly, because it's not a Tuesday, and they actually have a real conversation for the first time.
The son is very awkward. He's socially awkward, but like, once you unlock him, you know, like, he is a nice kid, right? All he needed was like affirmation. He just has so low self-esteem and no confidence, right? But as soon as like the dad kind of gets to him on his level with the drums and the music, you know, when they go to Princeton, he sets him up having a tour of like the music studio. And then there's the other girl in the high school that likes him, you know, all of a sudden he has this confidence about him, and he becomes like an actual kind of better kid, you know, so to speak.
Yeah, and his name's Hunter. Hunter really gets along with Coop's sister because she's also a musician.
And she also knows how to talk to him like on his level, you know. Like,
exactly.
She treats him like an equal, you know. So I thought that's good. The teens are there to show that Coop really cares about his kids, right? That he's not this horrible monster, and he really does care about them, you know. So.
I like the scene in the coffee shop where Mel confronts Sam and they get into an actual fight. Jesus, and then everyone's got their phones out recording it. And then later on, one of Tori's friends is watching a video on her phone, and Tori says, "Is it my dad?" She's like, "No, it's your mom."
Right. And the mom is supposed to be this like youth counselor, right? So like she goes to work the next day and her boss is like, "I'm sorry, we have to let you go. Like, we can't have a video of you punching someone," you know? I mean, Sam was just as much at fault in that altercation, to be honest, but Mel is the one that did throw the punch, you know? So
I don't think I have any more notes other than this has nothing to do with the show, but apparently it was shot in Hudson Valley, New York. And Hudson Valley has an A-ball team in the New York Penn League. That's all I got.
Okay. I mean, those have to be real houses, and it has to be a real neighborhood. It is like a real neighborhood with rich people.
I mean it could be just a movie set. You don't know, but sure.
Like I said, I really like the show, but I don't think it's like elite. So like the website Metacritic gave it a score of 61 out of 100 based on 23 critics' reviews. And like, so they say it's good, but whatever. I think it's really good, but I don't think it's like my favorite show, only because maybe last year it would have been, because I think last year the crop of shows wasn't as strong. And I just think there's so many great shows this year that, you know, it's competing for attention, you know?
I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed that there's going to be another season.
It could have just ended, you know?
I have a feeling they shot two different endings for the last episode. Mm-hmm. I don't know this for a fact, and they chose the one that they chose because they wanted there to be a second season, but they could have neatly tied everything up and just ended it.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, season 2, like, chances are what's going to happen, and I'm like going to be like a glass half empty, is that like it's going to be more of the same, and season 2 is just not going to be as good because like you've seen already what's going to happen. So what's going to happen? He's going to break into more houses. He's going to get into more trouble. Like
I have a feeling because you noticed in the last episode they changed narrators. It went from Coop to Sam. So maybe Sam is going to be the narrator now for all of the next season, and it's going to be through her eyes instead of his. Maybe. I don't know.
And it's funny because when we were watching, I was like, as we were watching the end, I said to my wife, I was like, I don't think Sam's going to even go to jail. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what crime did she actually commit? She covered up a murder. So it's like,
she didn't even cover up a murder. There was no murder.
It was suicide. Yeah. She impeded a police investigation, like she framed the guy. That's her crime. Right. That's her crime. There's not even insurance fraud because she didn't collect the insurance because it was a suicide. So like her actual crimes are so small. Like there's no way she's going to jail. Right. It's not a violent
you're
crime.
Right. She's not.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we'll look forward to seeing Sam in season 2. Like, I don't know. Right. Maybe she's going to get in on the thefts with Coop.
And I wonder if Coop's going to get his money back from Elena.
I don't know. Yeah, she has all the money. No, he's not going to get it back. She gave all that money to pay off his brother's debt.
I know, but she owes him now.
Season 2, I'm sure will be fun. But like, I just, and I'll watch it. I'll watch it for sure.
I can't wait. Okay, we'll be right back after this with some final thoughts.
You're listening to Unscripted.
Hey everyone, Skip here. I'm really excited to invite all of you to follow my new account at Skip Cooks on Instagram and TikTok. I'll be sharing my love of cooking with recipes in the form of 1-minute music videos, all set to some of my favorite songs. Don't miss out, follow me, and let's have some fun in the kitchen.
Unscripted with Skip and Josh is available wherever you listen to podcasts. If you listen to the show through Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. To interact with the show, send an email to skipandjoshshow@gmail.com. Follow the show on Twitter and go to Facebook to like the show page. And now, some final thoughts from the guys.
I have one great final thought about baseball that I wrote down yesterday that I really wanted to talk to you about.
Let's hear it.
It's about Juan Soto. Did you hear his quote about the All Star game?
No, I didn't. I know he didn't make the All Star team, but...
So Juan Soto is the highest paid player in baseball. His total value of his contract that he signed this year with the Mets is over $700 million. Now, and that's not a mistake. That is correct. I think it's $765 million. He is absurdly paid. He's way overpaid. He's a great player, but like no one should be making this kind of money. They asked him about like his thoughts on the All Star game because he didn't make it. And he said something to the effect of, and I quote, well, that there's a lot of money there left on the table, meaning like, it's too bad I'm not going to the All-Star game because I'm not going to get my bonus, my $100,000 bonus for going to the All-Star game. $100,000 to this guy, that's like a parking ticket, like that's nothing. That's nothing. Like it's, I have, like sometimes you'll hear people say these players are only in it for the money, right? I firmly believe Juan Soto only plays baseball for the money. I don't think he derives any joy from playing baseball. It's his job. That's it.
Yeah, I believe that. And also these guys, not just him, but even someone who's like the 25th guy on the roster, they're all clueless. Like they don't know what it is to be like to have a real job, 9-to-5 job. They have no idea.
Well, I mean, almost every Major League Baseball player has been coddled. They've been told they're going to make the majors since the beginning. I mean, obviously, there's since high school or even before. I mean, there's some that obviously are lower round picks that fight their way up and they work their way through the minors, and it's more difficult, but they still never had a job, right?
Exactly. So the worst thing that happened to them is they had to ride the buses in the minors for a couple of years.
Yeah. Do you have any other final thoughts? Or
yeah. as I mentioned to you off air, I've started watching the most recent season of The Bear. But before I did that, I went to watch the last episode of season 3 again because I completely forgot everything that happened. And it's a good thing I did because I forgot everything that happened. Anyway, I don't want to talk about The Bear, but what I want to talk about is in that last episode, another thing that I forgot was the soundtrack for that episode was great. I'm sure you don't remember. There was In the Garage by Weezer, Laid by James, and Disarm by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, wait till you hear the soundtrack of season 4. It's crazy.
No, so far I do like the soundtrack of season 4, but what I wanted to tell you is, so I did this on Sunday night, I think it was. And ever since Sunday, every day this week on the radio, which I don't control, I've heard the song Disarm by the Smashing Pumpkins. Total coincidence. It's not like it's a new song, right? So
just like Leve and a Role Model doing a collaboration, the universe is trying to tell you something, Josh.
Who knows? Who knows what's going on?
Yeah. All right, so that was a great episode about your friends and neighbors. I would highly recommend the show, as I'm sure you would. You already told us how much you love it. It was great talking to you about it. And I'll talk to you next time.
Have a great week.